falling over while we're sitting here, but it's nothing to panic about. It's the one thing we like to fall over. It's the 𝗕𝘂𝗧. It responded so nicely to the CPI news that just came out of the States. I mean, look at this S&P blowing out of this resistance area. This was a major resistance zone, and it's basically just taken off. It looks like a little rocket moving up there for us. So that CPI news came in quite bullish. 𝗕𝘂𝗧 started dumping immediately. We saw the S&P blow up. We had gold blow up and all these things. Even BTC started moving for us, coming off those lows. So we're going to discuss those things shortly. And then I've got a special guest, and we're talking with a specific focus on gaming tokens today. There's some big targets up ahead. We're going to be looking at some massive moves on some of these gaming tokens. So if you think the gaming move has just started, well, or is over, it hasn't. There's a long way for gaming to go, and Hustle's here. He's going to help us with it. So let's get right into it. Just a quick look at Banter bubbles. We've had a bit of a mixed day. Well, it was mainly red over the last couple of hours, but things have bounced nicely now. So we saw a lot of these altcoins moving down into the 382 support areas. We had things like 𝗕𝗵𝕋, AVAX, Lena with strong 382 bounces when that CPI news came out, and we just had this bearish sentiment floating around. We had people in the chats in the Sniper Club saying they want to exit positions, they want to do all these things while it was dumping into these supports. And then as we sat on these supports, these things started popping off when that CPI news came out. So a little bit of relief for everybody. Let's take a look and see how that affected BTC. So BTC right now has drifted into our 36K region. That was the area we were highlighting yesterday, and just picking off just above 36K. And now we've formed a double bottom here, and that CPI news did give us a pump, but now we are running out of a little bit of energy. So we're going to watch BTC again. I'm tracking this 36,000 region for the day. We're going to see how that ties in with altcoins once again, and then the highs, if we do push higher, we're looking at the 618 here at 37K. So that's our immediate upside target, and then downside 36K. And if we do slip a little bit lower, we're looking at around about mid 35s. If we take a look at this liquidation heat map, we can see that also ties in very nicely to the 100x and 50x leverage guys at 35.5 as well. So that would be a nice target just to come for one more flush out there, and then potentially send us back up. So these are my key areas today that we are tying BTC in with. Let's just cover this 𝗕𝘂𝗧 one more time. Beautiful move. CPI came in a little bit bullish. They immediately started dumping this 𝗕𝘂𝗧, and the target now for the 𝗕𝗂𝗧, looking at this chart, is going to be this 200-day MA. That's the most obvious target for me right now, just looking at this MA and this horizontal. So we're going to keep our eyes on this one, but nice to see a bit of a move down there on the 𝗕𝘂𝗧, and that has a great effect on things like gold, for example. So yesterday we were long gold off the 200-day MA. We caught it off the horizontal, and absolutely flying now. We're about to push into the 618 TP region. So if you did take this gold long, this is now TP time. This 1970 to 1980 region is an area you want to start taking things off. And then with regards to oil, well, that's just cooked as well. So oil 200-day MA is now your support. So anyone who longed oil with me down here, we've broken through. We've got support here on the 618 horizontal and the 200-day MA. So these trades that I'm doing in PrimeXBT are absolutely flying. They're not always that exciting. You know, we do them every couple of weeks. We get an entry of these things. Not as exciting as these altcoins, but when they start working, they do start working, guys. So there is a PrimeXBT link in the description if you want to trade spaceships like this. I mean, look how this thing's taking off here. You can do that on PrimeXBT using your crypto. So get stuck into that. Right. So we are here because we want to do gaming, and I know nothing fundamentally about gaming. I love trading these charts. I see big targets up ahead, but I know nothing about these things. I often don't even know what I'm trading, and I just see some price action. So I brought a special guest here, Hustle, and he's now got his own channel linked to Banter. It is In the Game, and we're going to talk about that now, guys. So if you're not subscribed already to In the Game, you better get on there. They've got 62,000 subscribers already. Hustle is on there pushing out content all the time with a gaming focus. So let's get him on here. What's happening, bro?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me.
So good to have you here, man.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I don't do the charts and you don't do the fundamentals, but that's why we're gonna, bang them out together here. Let's do it.
Sounds like a match made in heaven, really.
Yeah.
What do you think about our beats here in the background? Should we turn them louder, or are you happy with the volume?
I'm good with it. No problem.
we got a mixed signals in the crowd. I'd say we have on about 70% love the music and about 30% right in the comments turn it down because they watch these videos on 2x and then it sounds like
probably sounds a little weird.
Yeah, but guys, we love the music. It's here to stay. Flo says Hustle's channel is awesome, guys. Yeah, in the game, that's where you need to be. Gaming content. How often are you on there on in the game?
3 times a week, give or take.
3 times a week. And I mean, you've already mentioned some tokens to me that I've never heard of, and I looked at these charts. I mean, these things are absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to save that massive one for the end. We'll show you guys at the end. But so the first one I wanted to talk about was Gala. I know this one is a little bit boring for you, or potentially a bit boring for you. There was a little bit of drama earlier in the year. What's the story there?
Yeah, so earlier in the year, Gala, obviously they were kind of heralded as like the king of the gaming studios. And then there had this big drama in the interior of the company. The founders sued each other, and there were claims of some pretty ridiculous stuff, stealing company funds, buying a private jet with company money, minting themselves tons of nodes, which print tokens. So, sounds like crypto activity to me. But
sounds like standard crypto vibes.
Yeah, if your CEOs aren't doing that, it's probably a red flag, right?
What are you? Are you actually a crypto CEO?
So, that kind of, honestly, it's gone by the wayside, though. People don't seem to care anymore, and the way I see it, I mentioned this on my show, I think yesterday, is when you look at Gala, think of all the people that left the space last cycle. They saw Gala do those numbers from 2 cents to 74 cents, and they're like, oh, it's still going to be a great project. So they don't even know that the lawsuit happened. Like if you stepped away from crypto and you're not in the weeds like we are day to day, you don't even know that happened. So you're coming back in and you're like, I remember that token, and people are buying into it. So I kind of think it's washed away, to be honest.
Yeah, and I haven't seen much in the news about that. Not that I track these gaming tokens too much, but just looking at the size of this potential Gala move. With all these new gaming tokens out there, though, these all-time highs, not possible?
The market cap would be pretty inflated. I mean, the market cap right now is $500 million. So if it was to do all-time highs, which is like 37x, it would be like an $18 billion market cap. Not impossible. We know these things get overinflated in a full-blown blow-off top bull market, but that would be pretty tough, in my opinion, to eclipse that market cap. But hey, we've seen wilder things. I mean, 𝗟𝘂𝗋𝘂 Infinity last cycle was worth $25 billion. It could happen. It's not
I
impossible.
remember longing that thing at about 130. We were pulling longs on 𝗟𝘂𝗋𝘂. I mean,
yeah, it was going crazy last cycle.
And it was stupid.
That valuation was so high, 25 billion, and it was a 50 billion diluted. So it was 25 billion circulating. Crazy.
So let's talk interim plays for Gala here. So fundamentally, you happy? You think it's all right still as a play? If you had to go top 5 tokens, is it in your top 5?
That's tough at this point. My personal top 5, some of them are like pretty degen picks. So because I like the low cap, I like the low cap stuff that's gonna like pop in the bull.
We like those too. I mean, I like to trade leverage, and a lot of those low caps I can't trade leverage, but I'm sure the community here is quite keen on some secret low caps that you've got installed. So guys, you need to stick around because we're going to get stuck into those shortly, but we're going to deal with these bigger ones first. Okay, so the way I see Gala on the chart right now, if we don't have some kind of bigger correction from BTC, we've got a rising trend here. This is Gala on the 8 hour. It's snuck into this little pocket again on the trend on the 382. It's reclaimed the 200-day MA one more time with that last move. But, bearish vibes here. If BTC starts losing those 36K levels, we are going to see some of these altcoins start losing these trends. So what I would say here is we do have a horizontal, we do have a 382, and we do have a trend. So potential bounce in store here. How high? We need to just play it by ear. You can see we are in a downtrend on a lot of these altcoins at the moment. So, a reasonable target would be this trend firstly, just to kind of see where we are. If we start breaking higher than that, then we can get really stuck in with these longs. So cautiously long on Gala for me, with stops under these 8-hour candles here down at 0.024. That's sort of how I would play Gala here on this trend. And then again, any weakness, guys, we start losing that trend, we start dipping out, and then you will get buys. You will get buy options here at around about the 618 and horizontal. Here's a nice juicy buy area as well if we do get downside, and then the 50-day MA just pushing up nicely here, 0.017. So that's how I would play Gala in the short term. What is your, I mean, you don't really do charts, but do you have a macro sentiment right now? Are we long and strong? What are you thinking?
And just like in the broader markets, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So I kind of have the opinion that right now logic's out the window. People are saying that there's a recession coming. People are super bearish across the board still. You know, there's a lot of euphoria in the markets for us who have, like, you know, bet on this thing through and through, and we're seeing the upside. But the way I see it is, and 𝗂𝘂𝗀𝗃, I have to give him a shout out for this opinion because I kind of agree with it, is when you look at the markets, I think more people are still sidelined because they thought it was going to be super easy to pick the bottom. So what's max pain? Is max pain actually going down, or is it actually going up from here and inducing more FOMO and more, you know, people wanting to ape into the market?
Sentiment too. He's leaning against pushing it higher to make them buy the top, basically.
I see it.
I'm getting those vibes as well. Yeah.
And if you think about it, go ahead.
No, I'm feeling long and strong to 40. That is my sentiment for now.
People are front running that ETF news, and then if it's approved, we'll see another, you know, upside from there. If it's declined, obviously we're probably going to see some nasty candles to the downside. But I know some people who think that, you know, the ETF approval is kind of going to kick off that next wave of surge in the market, but that the day that it goes live, this would be so crypto. The day that it goes live is the top of the market.
I think we've seen this movie before, right?
Yeah.
So
it makes
guys,
too much sense.
Just remember that we get that pump. Make sure you start taking profits, guys. Okay, so we've got a lot of questions about some of these gaming tokens. I see they're asking about 𝗵𝘂𝗋, which is one of the ones I have prepped here. And then we've got, I know the guys like Nakamoto Games. Yeah, there's a lot of asking about that. So let's look at 𝗵𝘂𝗋 because that's something I haven't traded much. This is what I put together on the weekly chart. So when you look at these gaming tokens, are you buying it based on market cap, and are you comparing it to others and saying I'm 5x from here or 3x? How do you plan your way around these things?
Yeah, so obviously I play with various market caps. I'll you know, I put a position here at like 84 cents. We gave that one out on Thursday's show last week. It's done really well since then. I think it's a little above $1.10 or whatever the price is today. Yeah. But for example, I play it by narratives. So people in Web3, people hop ecosystem to ecosystem in the gaming space. Like, we don't have enough gamers or players to make 10 games do well or 10 projects like completely surge at the same time, because it's just, we're not at that stage yet with the actual users in the ecosystem. But with something like 𝗵𝘂𝗋, it hasn't seen a full bull run. It launched in November 2021, but it was at the top of the market. And if you looked at the chart, it's like from $7 down to where it is now. And I think with the amount of games that they have coming to the chain, it just makes too much sense. I think that their co-founder said that there's 200 games coming to this next year that are going to actually launch. So they're going to get a lot of that market share. And I see this as undervalued versus other like gaming blockchains. Like, I love Avalanche in the gaming space. It's a 6 billion. You know, that's still 4x undervalued when you look at the market cap here of 𝗵𝘂𝗋. So even, you know, on those types of chains, I think that it is undervalued. But when I'm looking at like gaming studios, low cap games, etc., I'm definitely looking at it. What's a similar ecosystem, and then what's the differential in market cap here, and how undervalued is this project versus another? So that's kind of the way I look at it.
Okay, sure. So let's look at immediate areas here. So right now 𝗵𝘂𝗋 is actually at a resistance zone on the chart. So it's telling us this is a big area. We might get some kind of rejection here. But if it does push higher, what I'm seeing is an immediate move of about 25%. And when I say immediate, I'm talking on the weekly candles. So maybe a week or three, it should start making its way up there. Obviously, we get these freak pumps where these things move a little bit quicker. But, you know, right now, this is a resistance area. So just be careful here. Spot buyers worry a little bit less. Obviously, the leverage guys, you don't want big stops with your leverage stuff. But if we do get this move higher, I'm looking at a 25% move just to this next level. And then we do have that 618 at 1.9 higher up. So that is a target for us as well. Us traders love the 618. I don't know if you ever, you don't even if you know what one of these is, Hustle. But that's a 54% move to the 618. Does that mean anything to you? 618.
No, see, these
trader talk, bro.
these trader terminology terms aren't really in my vocab right now. Maybe I need to learn them. I need to hop in sniper
science. You know, we're actually scientists drawing very scientific lines on these charts, trying to tell the future. So that's a target for us there, 1.9. And then guys, support for spot buy. I wouldn't. I'd look below today's this week's weekly low, 1.08. What was your entry? You were in 80 cents.
Yeah, 84 cents when I entered.
Okay, so yeah, look for support here, 1.08. That's the bottom of the weekly. We can see there is some pressure on it. They are trying to push it higher. So keep your eyes on that one. But bear in mind, leverage guys, this is the weekly chart. So we're going to zoom in now for the leverage guys. Weekly chart, we can see there is support under that weekly. And then there is a bit of a squeeze forming here on IMX on the 4 hour. So this is something maybe the leverage traders can have a look at. You're looking at a resistance band now above. You can see we had that candle up there, and now we've got pressure here one more time at this resistance zone. So how would I play this? Well, if we got some kind of pullback here, I'd look to maybe ladder in somewhere in this region. You can see we've got some horizontal options here as well tying in, and perhaps we get that push up, and then we want to see that pop and that little pullback again, and then it should take off for us. So possible squeeze incoming here, but just play it safe, track that trend on the 4 hour and tie it in. So trend rise, maybe, yeah, what do we got? 1.09. That could be a nice area. Let's see if we do have some science here for us. Let's see what we got here. We got a 618 lower down there, and we got that 382. A little bit lower than our weekly. Okay, so we got a 382 for the scalpers. 1.03 is a potential pullback zone where you can start getting involved there. So eyes on that 1.03 there, and this is a rising trend, and then we can play that potential squeeze move. Right, guys, let's take a look at my next one is PYR, Vulcan Forged. Talk to me about this guy.
I love Vulcan Forged. So obviously, we called this one perfectly too. We were mentioning that $3 range is undervalued. And how do I get that logic? The market cap. So the market cap to me is criminally low at that market cap. When you look at this, they have a layer 1 blockchain. They have over 10 games. They also have games coming over to build on their chain. I think the network effect here is going to grow. And then for me, like in the gaming space specifically, it's like, in the NFT space, they use the term, build the builders. We want the builders to be here and like active, you know what I mean? And Vulcan Forged has probably 10x'd their product during this bear market. So the price we saw, every token in the market has taken a hit over the last 2 years. But what we've seen is they actually like tripled down on their developments. And I think that they've probably improved their product more than most, if not almost all of the Web3 gaming like studio infrastructure plays. So that to me is all going to catch up on this chart whenever we do get to that, the next cycle. But we're seeing it now as it's made 100% move basically since that $3 mark. So we were tracking this for weeks a while back. It was dipping into this range low down here. So this was in sort of September. We started looking at this moving into this 2.6 region. And they were coming out with announcement after announcement, and the price wasn't moving. It just kept going down. And everyone was wondering what the story was here. And they were obviously saving it because they absolutely sent this thing. So I see there's the big red candles there. To the left of the chart. So what that was, it was a sell the news event. So they were hyping up this TV show, the next crypto gem, and they won the TV show, but no one really watched it, unfortunately. So as you see here, those like 3 red candles in a row, that was from a sell the news event. The ones to the left, the bigger one, the biggest, The ones right to the right. That one right there. Yep, that big red candle right there. That was a sell the news event. So people, were looking for a huge announcement. It was underwhelming in their eyes, and we know how it goes. Buy the rumor, sell the news. These conferences, for example, that's a pretty good buy the rumor, sell the news event. And people were really upset about the price. And then we've seen it now surging. So it's good to see all those announcements catching up at least.
Yeah. No, I mean, 165% move. For anyone who grabbed this thing at the bottom. I know there's people in these chats that have been buying these things down there. So well done to you guys. Support wise, I can see we've got a pullback now happening. So, I mean, that's expected after 165% to move. But if you're asking as to where is a good area to buy this, well, the most solid area I can see is this range high, which is this weekly resistance area. We have covered this chart a couple of times on the show. You can see the support here on the weekly, how this held down here as support. It was resistance. We've broken through. So for me, this is quite a hot zone, this 5.3 for PYR, especially for the DCA buyers there. And then if we do lose that level, you do have a backup plan, 4.92 and 4.6. So those are potential DCA levels. This is a weekly chart, guys. So if we do get that heavy pullback, expect some kind of reactions in these areas, and it might not touch all of them, or it might touch all of them. But for the DCA guys, those are solid areas. And right now, for the scientists, you can see it is hovering around this 382 on the weekly. So there is a potential move happening here. So let's take a look on a zoomed in version quickly. Here's the 4-hour play. And similar to IMX, we've got a rising trend. We do have this thing dipping down, and I've highlighted the 618 that's potentially in play now for you guys. So eyes on this 618 region now. And remember, we do have this trend, so that could get in your way. So if we do get a bounce here, look out for a reaction at this trend that is actually resistance. And if there is a confirmed downtrend, then we are heading back to that region over there. So your buy zones are pullbacks to the main rising trend that we have over here, or a potential bounce coming at the 618 for a little reaction up at that trend, and then we see what happens up there. If we get bullish and we break through, that's a different game. But just remember, if you do play that 618 bounce, you do have resistance up ahead at the trend and horizontal. So it is something to take note of.
This is why I wasn't good at science.
We tell everyone it's science. We just drawing some lines on a chart. So okay, I've got another one I wanted to discuss with you. Talk to me about Veracity. I see this one has now dipped into the trend area that I've been eyeing out now for most of the day. Talk to me. What is Veracity?
Yeah, so Veracity, it's multi-pronged as far as what it does. So their main thing isn't really in like the gaming space. It's actually like ad I would say proof of view ad technology. So what a lot of companies struggle with, obviously, we see it with YouTube, right? We skip those ads the second that those 5 seconds come through the door. But the way that they kind of function is they put the proof of view on the advertisements for the companies that they're going to be working with, and they actually get verified on the views, and that's whenever they pay that the CPM to the CPM, RPMs, all those metrics, like those don't get paid unless people actually view. And then on Veracity side, they'll reward the viewers for sticking through some of those advertisements. But they have a streaming protocol. So similar to Theta, they have like esports tournaments. They have different types of games that they have competitions, and there's streamers that utilize Veracity TV. So they do have like a gaming streaming side, kind of like Theta, but their main utility isn't quite gaming. But I love Veracity. It's honestly one of my highest conviction plays because their company is just so well-rounded. When do you actually see a crypto company doing monthly, quarterly reports, shareholder reports like this? They actually come out and are full disclosure, all the updates, all the financials. Like it's really impressive to me because I don't think a lot of crypto companies would be willing to share those things.
Okay, so and does this fall into your top 5?
Maybe as like in total, if it's not specific, like, I do hold a few things that aren't gaming. Like, so if it was to creep into, it's definitely in my top 10 without a doubt. Top 5 might be a stretch just because I do love a couple of gaming projects quite a bit. But at the same time, I think it's definitely in my top 10. I think I did a top 10 video a couple months ago, and this was in it.
So guys, we're going to sell Hustle's top 5 for likes a little bit later on. So I'm going to get Bruce to let us know. Let us know where the likes are. And then we're also going to sell it for subscribers to in the game. So we're going to be tracking these.
Let's go.
Right now, let's look at in the game right now. We got 62,000 subscribers currently on in the game. So get subscribing there, guys. We're saving Hustle's top 5 gaming picks. When we start getting some bigger numbers here, Bruce is going to keep us up to date as to what's going on. I think he can dial in there for us. Right, let's move on to another one that I'm looking at. Games for a living, 𝗕𝗂𝗃𝗃.
Yeah, this one's been crazy this year. Kind of like 𝗏𝗂𝗃. Like, let me find the 𝗕𝗵𝘆 token here on CoinMarketCap. Yeah, I mean, this one's ripped this year. If you look at the all chart, 531% all time. This one launched back in March. And I got to say, the team here is very impressive. So, you know, a lot of people oversell their experience. So one thing in the gaming space that we've seen all the time is like someone will say they worked for Activision or Epic Games or Microsoft, but what did they do? You know, that never crosses your table. Like, they don't like propose to you actually what they did or the projects they work on. They'll just use that headliner, and half of the time it's honestly BS. Like, they didn't really work with those companies, but at the same time, like, they weren't the ones in charge of building these products or building these games. They might have been one engineer or one developer on a huge project, but that's not going to give you the credentials that a lot of these people sell. But 𝗕𝗵𝘆, on the other hand, has a fantastic team. They actually aren't overselling their experience, and that means a lot to me, because we have seen when a bad person is running a project, 𝗕𝗵𝕆s of the world, just you know, throw that out there. You know, you don't really want to be backing those types of things, right? So it does mean a lot to me that they have a lot of gaming experience in the Web 2 industry. And I think even right now, it's a 42 mil circulating. The diluted market cap's a bit high, but I could see this being $1 billion project in a full-blown bull run. So that's honestly, that's my opinion there.
25x.
That would be that market cap. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Possible 25x here on 𝗕𝗃𝗃, games for a living. Potential buy areas now. You're looking at a horizontal 𝗕𝗵𝘆 here at 0.033. Then we're looking at a solid 382 and horizontal with the 50-day MA at 0.0295. So that is quite a nice area. Quite like the look of that one. And then you're going to pick off horizontal. So if this thing keeps dropping, the DCA crew out there, you look for nice solid horizontal areas where you're going to get potential bounces and moves from, and those are the areas you can look to add. And then tell me, do you know much about this? There's a token unlock or something every 13th of the month. What's the story there? Do you know much about
so
it?
There is monthly unlocks, so like traditional vesting. So there is unlocks every month, but the way that the chart has performed is super impressive. It's really never deviated due to token unlocks. And I do think because whenever you look at the potential of the project and in the market that it was growing, I don't think people were like selling it as much as like a traditional VC dump on stuff like let's just say like an Aptos. Like Aptos is a very VC token, and when that has unlocks, you can see it on the charts because, you know, the big VCs come in and dump on your heads. With 𝗕𝗵𝘆, it hasn't really been that big of an issue. They're pretty small unlocks every month. And what I've seen actually from like whales in this ecosystem is they all are like, I'm going to load up after the next token unlock, but then there's not really a dip. So it's good to see that it doesn't really affect the chart that much.
Okay, so guys, it's officially a 25x from Hustle. And the guys in the chats are starting again. They love a birthday. So they're saying happy birthday, bro.
I was so confused. I was absolutely so confused at the spam coming through the chat on happy birthday. I'm like, wait.
They love calling a birthday, bro. I don't know. Sometimes it's my birthday. Fuck, I don't know what these guys are up to.
Oh my gosh, man.
It's these degen traders, man. It's these 15-minute candle guys. They're here for the fun. Okay, let's see. I've got something called Big Time. Tell me about this guy.
Yeah, Big Time's a great project, great game. They've had a lot of market share in like the most games don't have a lot of active players. So they have a ton of active players. Their ecosystem's thriving. My only issue right now is, as you see, it's a new token launch. Like this one's pretty brand new as of last month. It did really well to start. And then it took that big 50% downturn from the 30-cent range to kind of where it is now. It's kind of trending upwards again. My only issue here is the market cap. The diluted market cap is like, let me get you an update on it and I'll do a comparison. So the fully diluted here is 863 million, whereas 𝗏𝘂𝗃 Infinity is a 1.6 billion. So it's about 50% of what 𝗏𝘃𝗃 is. And I don't think that the player numbers or the metrics in the ecosystem line up to be that valuation. Like I kind of think it's a little inflated right now, but then again, logic goes out the window in these types of markets. I wouldn't be buying on big time personally, but that's just my personal conviction. I just dislike the market cap quite a bit.
There was a lot of hype behind this, and you could see there was a marketing machine behind it and whatever was going on. But yeah, I agree. It sounds like a 2x for you. I prefer the 25x's.
Yeah, okay. The problem is the circulation. There's only 3% of the supply circulating. So like the circulating market cap looks very low on paper, but the fully diluted is like 800 million, which is, it's just very inflated in my opinion.
Well, Spicy Sauce says it's the best blockchain game, 100% apparently.
I wouldn't deny it. Maybe based on quality today. There's a lot of titles on the way, and honestly, like I wouldn't deny that. Right now, it's got great graphics, great gameplay, a lot of players playing it. So I wouldn't deny that necessarily. But sometimes good games don't lead to token price action.
I just want to ask Bruce how many likes we've got on our screen currently. Bruce, how many likes do we have?
We've got 433.
There's 1,500 people watching this, and we got 433 likes. We're selling Hustle's top 5 gaming picks for the next run for 650 likes. Okay, we got 200 to go.
We're gonna go. Whoa! Come on.
Let us know when we're there, and then we're gonna lock in the. We're gonna lock in Hustle's top 5. I'll pull you up shortly. They must pay in likes. That's our currency.
I love it.
Likes and subscribes.
Run it up.
Okay, talk to me about Nakamoto Games. That thing is also 1 billion% up for the past while. And is it overvalued? Where are we? Look at this thing on the weekly.
Yeah, good Lord.
So,
good Lord. I mean, so a lot of people last week, one of my friends in the gaming space, he put out like a tier list of tokens, and he had Naka as the only top tier token. And a lot of people came at him like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, what even is this project? But when you're talking about tokens, yeah, it's up 1,200% this year. It literally is the clear winner of this year's gaming market, and it's no question about it. Honestly, the market cap's still not that bad. It's like a 200 million fully diluted. The circulating's almost 90. And the way that this thing's trended over time and during this year, I think it's just going to continue the sentiment. And the one thing you have to realize with a token like this, people just keep aping in. More liquidity is coming in because this thing just hasn't stopped for a whole year at this point. Like this run right here literally started in January of 23. So it's almost going on for 11 months. The FOMO is kicking in for a lot of people during this run. And I have to say, it's been super impressive. And I think in a bull run, this was impressive in a bear market for the most of the year, right? So in a bull run, I think this thing's going to continue to explode.
Okay, so just from a 4-hour perspective, if there is a bullish trend that's still going to continue, you can see this is it in front of you. So this is going to depend on BTC and everything behaving, or potentially not. I mean, we saw Nakamoto pump in those bear conditions. There is an uptrend at the moment, so keep your eyes on this. We can see there is a clear downtrend as well. So what we want to see here is a potential move into this region, and then this continuation up there with a little break and a retest. So if we do start losing this trend, it starts looking a little bit bearish, and then we start looking at targets around this 50-day MA that's coming up down here at around about 0.92. So bulls right now, you are looking for the 618 and trend to hold. Let's pull in some more horizontals down here. Let's see what we got there. And we're looking at call it 1 on the button. So these are sort of bounce areas that are interesting to me. But if this move is going to continue, you want to see that trend pushing up. So look for the bounce, look for the break and retest of trend, and potentially send it higher. And then just keep in mind, we've got a massive weekly level above here on the weekly chart. Look how it pinged at 618 as well. Hustle, you got to learn the science. Look at this 618 rejection. 1.43. That was a big resistance area. So eyes on that area. If this move continues, let's take a look from here. It's still a 20% move back to those highs if it does continue. But guys, you can see the candle. You don't have to be a regular trader to understand this picture, that what goes up sometimes needs to come down. So do exercise caution. Let's look at some bigger time frame areas that we can potentially pull here. I'm going to take a fib from that low to the high. And we just want to look at areas where we get the fibs tying in with some horizontals, and look at this nice area here. Wow. Okay, so the wheels come off there. We lose that trend on the 4 hour and things start really falling over. There's a big zone down here at 0.59. And you can see why I like that. It's horizontal, weekly candles tying in with a 618. And then we've got this 382 zone over here. Not as much conviction on the weekly, but you can see we do have a cluster of weekly support and resistance in the zone, and we've got the 50-day MA pushing up. So these are two massive bounce areas for me, 0.94 and 0.6. So maybe put an alarm on, or make a note there on your sides as to if we do see some kind of collapse here in the market. These are some high conviction areas where you could get a nice buy there on Nakamoto Games.
They say I'm falling asleep in science class. No, that was in high school, not today. Dylan's a much better teacher.
This is real science, guys. What you learned at school was nothing. This is the real,
exactly.
This is the real deal. Okay, are we, Bruce, are we on our target here?
We're 686.
So we hit our target, guys. It is time. And then, okay, so Hustle's going to give us his top 5 picks. And then he's going to talk to us about 2 more tokens that I've saved here in the end. So the ones I want to look on the charts are Prime and Beam. So I want to talk about those. Those could be massive movers based on what I'm seeing on the chart. Okay, so guys, here we go. This is what you waited for. Let's see if my round of applause button even works. I don't know if you can hear it, but... can you hear that?
It's very muffled, but we can hear it.
Let's have Hustle's top 5 gaming picks for a monster move.
Yeah, and I'll give some honorable mentions. You know, the fams here, we got over 1,500 viewers. The likes looking good, so let's give the fam what they came for. You know what I mean? So first and foremost, this is no particular order. I'm just going to give you 5 that I love, and I would probably consider them in my top 5 heading into the next bull. And I'm going to exclude some that have already ran like crazy. Like Naka will be in my honorable mentions, but to go ape into Naka today, I don't know that's the winning move, right? So I like 𝗵𝘆𝗶𝗆𝗀 to probably hit a 10 billion market cap. That's about a 6 to 10x from here, depending upon circulating diluted market cap. I think Vulcan Forge is a safe $1 billion play in the bull market as well. So 𝗵𝘆𝗶𝗆𝗀, PYR. I absolutely love Dubs. DUBBZ. It's a sleeper, $30 million market cap. They have esports wagering on their platform, which is huge. If you look at the esports wagering business across the world, not even in the US, it is just a huge market, and they're going to be implementing it across over 50 Web3 games. So I'm looking at that to be a big time market. It's the mix between 𝗵𝘆𝗆𝘀 and 𝗵𝘆𝗆𝘀. So I think that that's like a huge, recipe for success. I like 𝗵𝘆𝗆𝗀. I can't say that, if it'd be almost disrespectful the way that the team is super solid. And honestly, the tokenomics, although the diluted looks high, it's not too dangerous because the token unlocks are pretty minuscule. I love 𝗕𝗵𝘆𝗆𝗀. So reason I like 𝗕𝗵𝘆𝗆𝗀, is people want to accumulate for the seed rounds in a bull run. In a bear market, it's not going to matter too much, but it's 100% up from the bottom. And I think that's just the start of this move. It's a rare token that I think could actually go past its all-time highs. It would be just a little over $1 billion market cap. And people have to accumulate it to participate in the seed rounds that they're looking for. And then I'll give 3 honorable mentions. I love Altura. So I think Altura is eventually going to be a few $100 million market cap. It's like a $20-30 million market cap as of today. A gem that we recently called over on the show is Playable Games. It's up 200+% since we called it out. So fam, don't go ape into this one. Wait for maybe a retrace. But when you look at the market cap, it's a 14 million market cap, and it has all the makings of something like a Gala or something like a Myria. And then last but not least, I have to say Nakamoto Games. In a bull run, it's probably going to do another 5 to 10x safely. And I could probably see it do a little more than that. So, and I see someone in the...
I mean,
none of these are
amazing.
sponsors.
This is amazing, Alpha.
Like 𝗕𝗵𝘂 is a sponsor of my show. I see that comment there, but I actually genuinely gave that call on the show before they were a sponsor at 50 cents. So we don't have sponsors on the show that I don't genuinely like. Let me just throw that out there.
Gareth says I'm dribbling. Yeah, I'm writing these notes down. I'm like 30 million market cap, 40 million market cap. I'm seeing lots of X's on these things if they do get moving. So guys, this is where you're going to get this stuff in the game. Let me share my screen again. Subscribe to this channel in the game on YouTube. Pump it up. Hustle's there. He's dropping these things all day long. If you're into gaming or even just into Xing your investments, and you've got time, get stuck in there in the game. And you can always come back to me and drop questions in the charts, and we can trade these shit coins all day long. So if there's a chart and there's a price, we can trade it, we can look for entries and all those things. But go and subscribe to in the game and get stuck in. Yeah,
I'm looking at the live count on subscribers. They are going and subscribing. So we are a little above that 62K at this point, which is good.
Nice. Okay, keep it going. Hustle, bro. Appreciate that special guest appearance. I do want to talk to you about this Prime and this Beam quickly before you run.
Let's do it.
I've got this Prime over here. I want to show you this weekly chart. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. Wait. I had it. It was Beam. It was Beam. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. What is going on here? Is this the correct Beam?
No. I would no. So the way you would judge it, because Beam is a new migration from a different token. Type in Merit Circle.
Merit Circle. Okay.
Merit Circle. Yeah. Space between.
Okay. Aha. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So, 𝗕𝗏𝗏 Llama. Right. It hasn't even hit an exchange yet. What is this thing? Okay. This is handy. Okay. What is this? Okay. Long way to go. Not as impressive as the previous token. Is this the right one?
That's the right one. Yeah. And they're moving over to a token called Beam. So that's probably where you mixed it up.
See. Okay. So this is where we are now then on the weekly. Take me through this coin. What is this thing? What are we doing?
Yeah, so remember back in the day, 2021, what was all the talk about? Play to earn guilds. And what was happening is they were buying a bunch of assets and they were lending them to people, and the players would play the game, but they would only get a small percentage of the reward. The guild or the DAO would take most of the rewards, and that was like their whole business model. So after the play to earn craze of like the Axies, etc., kind of wore out and people figured out those tokenomic models and economics aren't going to work, Merit Circle pivoted their business model and they have completely changed what they're doing. Basically building their own blockchain to make it easier for people to play games. They still have their DAO and still make investments, still seed investors in a bunch of different things. They have over 100 million liquid to build with, which I think is very rare in the space, honestly, especially in the play to earn gaming side. And the games that they're partnering up with to build on their new blockchain, which is called Beam, is pretty impressive. So I like this one to continue its growth heading into the next bull, and especially in the next bull market.
Okay, nice. Robert says Beam is on BitGet, guys, so you can buy that on BitGet apparently. If you don't have a BitGet account, there is a link in the description. You'll see a couple of exchanges in the account for you. I see some of these tokens are also on 𝗵𝗂𝗀. There is a 𝗵𝗂𝗀 link in the description for you. Okay, let's talk about Prime. Is this the correct one? Prime USDT on Bybit.
That should be the correct one, I think.
Okay, yeah, so I prepped this one. What's going on here? This thing's
so kind of like big time, but the opposite of the diluted market cap. Okay, so this one here is probably the hottest. Like, there's so many different niches in Web3 gaming. There's action, there's shooters, there's trading card games, and Gods Unchained has been like the long king of trading card games. But recently, this one's come out of nowhere and completely probably asserted themselves as the best trading card game in the space. And as boring to me as trading card games seem, you know, like it just seems a little boring in my opinion. It's just such a big genre, and we've seen it over the summer. They were definitely the hottest game right before Big Time came out. And just yesterday, they're listed on the Epic Game Store. They're listed on Steam. They're doing a lot of the right things to get that mainstream exposure that a lot of projects talk about. And their tokenomics are much better than most projects. There's a lot of burn mechanisms. There's a capped supply. This is going to be used in multiple different games. Whereas some tokens in gaming, you know, they don't have a capped supply inside the game, right? So when you look at all the metrics, I do think that this one has still a lot of upside potential given the market cap, but we've seen it from that move down on those lows. It's been exploding recently.
Yeah. How many X's?
Ooh,
I want to know how many X's.
Let me see. Let me pull up the exact market caps so I can give you an actual estimate here. So circulating is $120 million market cap. I could see this honestly, and the fully diluted is 500. So it's still about 40%, or it's about 60% of the big time market cap, which is what I was comparing it to. I think that the fully diluted here could get to a couple $2 billion. So this could probably be between like a 4 to 8x in my opinion in a bull market.
4 to 8x. We'll take it. We'll take
logical. Like, I'm not gonna. I hate giving the Moon Boy predictions, right? So I'm gonna give you logical. If 𝗔𝘂𝗃 Infinity hit those market caps last cycle, this can definitely be a couple $2 billion game easily.
Okay, 4 to 8x. Okay, so that's a nice list of tokens, guys. So the summary is here: we've got 𝗵𝗃, Dubs, 𝗕𝗵𝗆, 𝗕𝗵𝗃, and then honorable mentions were 𝗪𝗁, Playable Games, and Nakamoto, and then Prime with a 4 to 8x, bringing up the rear there.
Yeah, as Peace No War says on my show all the time, I always am reserved on my picks. If something goes above my prediction, hey, we're all happy. So it doesn't really matter, right?
2x, we'd be happy. I mean, you're spitting out some of these things, 25x's. It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, bro, Hustle, I appreciate that you came and jumped on here. Let me know when you ever want me to jump onto yours, guys. In the game, he's your man, gaming extraordinaire. He'll hook you up, so jump onto his show. We're going to carry on for the next 10 minutes, Hustle. We're going to go through some shit coins. You're happy to sit around and watch, but we're going to look at... Okay, so hang around. I'm going to go through some altcoins, guys. Drop a couple of coins in the chats that you want me to look at while we're here, and yeah, we'll take you through some science quickly, Hustle.
That sounds good. I'm a student now. I got my notepad. Let's go.
We'll show you what we do. Okay, guys, let us know what you want to see. We've got a question here for ADA, first out the gates. Okay, so let's do some ADA. I must give an honorable mention to some of these 382 bounces we had today with these altcoins dropping into support. I mean, look at this AVAX. This was beautiful. Dipping straight onto the 382. And Hustle, you can't tell me this isn't science when you get a reaction like that off a fib right there. It's pure science. But look at that move for AVAX. And you like AVAX, right? It's one of your favorites. Is that correct?
Oh, I mean, they were getting slept on in the gaming space for a long time, and they have some of the best games coming out. Shrapnel, they have Off the Grid, they have a bunch of different smaller projects on the rise. They have esports organizations building their own experiences on Avalanche. I think they were getting the the bad end of the stick there for a while versus other blockchains, when in reality, if you read the tea leaves and what's going on inside the project, I think that it's hard not to be bullish on the future of Avalanche. And naturally, the money's rotated. Like, money probably took profits out of Solana a little bit. And where was that next play? It seems to have been potentially Avalanche with that run from like $9 to $17.
Yeah. So we were looking at a potential move from Solana to NEAR, and that sort of fell on its head. It didn't give us the pump we wanted, but I see now AVAX was pumping this last weekend. Okay, so this is ADA, special request here for ADA. What we wanted to see when we last looked at this must have been a couple of days ago. We wanted to see this break higher and form some kind of support in this region. It's failed. It rejected at this 0.39. It failed. And moved on to our next area. And again, guys, this is how we look for these reaction areas. We look for these horizontals on higher time frames like dailies and weeklies. They give us areas where we can get buys in, or we know if we're in a position we can get a bounce and all those type of things. So ADA moved into our horizontal here, 0.35. And that is support for now. So we're going to track this current 0.35 region, and let's adjust the fib here. That was our last pull, was to that high. So let's just see where we are and see if we get tie in. So there is a bit of support here in this region on the dailies. We do have some tie in here on these dailies over there. So you can see that could work for us. 382. And then I'm loving the 618. Wow. Okay. So in the dead of the night, if we get some kind of mega dump, this is where you want to be. This is where ADA is at. 0.3, 50-day MA, 200-week MA, 618, and horizontal. Put those alarms on. If we do get a pullback here, this is your area. 0.3 for ADA. If it starts dipping, that's where you have your limit orders. If you're an ADA fan, that's where you want to be. So that's my highest conviction area on a big pullback. Nick says TIA is pumping. Do you know much about this TIA coin? It's a layer 1 apparently. The next Solana, they say.
You know, I gotta say, I haven't heard too much about it, and I've been seeing it all over the timeline. I can't say I've done my research on it, but goodness, that chart is aggressive.
A little bit aggressive.
That is aggressive.
Yeah, so it's, guys, this is where you need to be careful up here. So if you start aping into coins with candles like this, you are potentially putting yourself at risk. You need to look for levels, you need to look for areas, you need to look for trends. You know, sometimes they don't stick to the trend, but eventually they do come back. So you can also be patient. Remember, when a new narrative comes out, people like to pump these coins and then they get bored of it and then often reverses a bit, and then you will get your entry. So there's a nice little horizontal stack over here that looks interesting to me. And this current area here could be something to watch. So keep your eyes on that. I wouldn't buy this thing too high, but again, looking quite aggressive today. Let us know in the chats if there's any secret information here. Rodolfo, let us know what the story is here with this TIA. Was I right? Is it the next Solana? Is it the next Casper? Something like that. Oh, Nuno says the next Solana is Casper. We mustn't forget about Casper. It's been very good to us. Nick says, come on, TIA. Okay, guys. Well, he's obviously got some. Rodolfo says 864 million market cap. Cool. Live Happy says 1 million liquidation on Doge. I hope that wasn't my long that I had there. That's going to hurt. Okay, let's see what we got here. So support for me, 5.96 and 5.48 on TIA. Be careful up here though, guys. 5.98. It's the tip here. Just be careful. I'd be more comfortable telling you guys to wait for a little bit lower, and you can see there this 382 cluster makes me a little bit more comfortable down here. So 5.5, that sort of area. So keep your eyes on that. Okay, so some of the guys have been buying this. Martina wants to see 1 inch. Let's look at 1 inch. Do you do much of these things? Uni, 1 inch, anything like that?
I'm going to tell you something honest. Maybe people will hate me for it, but hey, I'm like a crypto gaming maximalist when it comes to this. I just feel like whenever I niche down and look at these types of things, I'll bet on the gaming blockchains, the games, the studios, that types of stuff. But I don't hold a single DEX token in my entire portfolio or anything like that. So yeah, not really. I just don't pay enough attention. And honestly. I just feel like DEXs might do really well next cycle, but I'll get more aggressive gains out of the gaming side.
Well, it sounds like me with my gaming portfolio. I need to up my game here. I know the guys in the chat's always talking about these gaming things.
Someone said, ask and hustle about uni.
Guys, you never know. It's worth a stab, you know. See what the man knows. Okay, so guys, 382 bounce. Look at that perfection coming into play here for us. That was quite a big 382 as well. Can you believe the science? Are your eyes watering from all the science that I'm showing you here?
I'm loving it. Like I said, you're a better teacher than any of the science teachers in my tenure in school.
Yeah, no, we do this with lines. Okay, hot zone for me, 1 inch. 200-day MA, 50-day MA coming in hot, and 618 down here at 0.3. Looks like ADA, basically, 0.3. ADA looks the same. Also at 0.3, and it's got the same moving averages. So that's starting to look like a hot area. So if we lose this, guys, 0.13 for you, Martina. That's where you want to be. What is 𝗵𝗵𝗃? Is that a gaming token?
Yeah, 𝗵𝗵𝗃 is like it's like a gamified DEX, kind of like DeFi Kingdoms. They've kind of had some turmoil, but at the same time, they came out with an update yesterday, and the token's been kind of pumping. It's a super low market cap. It's a very degen play at this point, but it's up 62% over the 24 hours. So,
okay, and super honorable mention. Does this fall into your gaming category?
Yeah, I like super based on the fact 𝗂𝘂𝗃 is hard at work, and I speak with 𝗂𝘂𝗃 frequently, and even though some of the public developments aren't out there, he is like working harder than ever. And as Becker put out on a tweet today too, he's never seen 𝗂𝘂𝗃 like go this hard on his projects 𝗵𝘆𝗀𝘃, which is underneath Superverse. So I still like Superverse. I think it's pretty undervalued, and once like 𝗂𝘂𝗃 gets to promoting it again, I think people are going to come back around to it.
Well, I totally bought the top of those spaceships. It was when was it? March 22, I think. The
imposter spaceships.
I literally bought the top of those spaceships. That's how good my gaming vibe is. That's how good I am at playing games.
It happens. I remember, funny story, last year, 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃, the horse racing game. I remember they all saw the money that I was making on the rentals of the horses. And then Fred bought the day on the exact top. So we'll all consider Fred the top of the gaming markets.
Well, I think I also bought the top of that 8 market. I think I bought a sewer pass or whatever it was. Literally,
yeah.
The day I bought it, started falling over. That's why I stick to the charts. That's why I do these things.
That's why we niche down. Yeah.
Excellent at buying the top of these NFTs. That's definitely on my forte. Okay, so super, guys, you can see we got a retracement here. This was a mega pump. I don't know what's going on there, but dropping down, and it's starting to look a lot like some of these others here. We got the 200-day MA, we got the 618 that's looking interesting. There is a bit of horizontal tie in here for super, so we should get something there. And then lower down, you want to look at these horizontals here for a potential move lower. Okay, so eyes on those areas. These are big-ish bounce areas where you should be okay. And let's take one more, guys, and then we got to jump. And don't forget, I keep forgetting to tell you guys, guess the price of Bitcoin and win a Bitcoin. You need to guess the price of Bitcoin at the end of the year. Have you done this? What is your prediction, Hustle?
Bitcoin price by the end of when?
End of the year.
That's tough. We could have a tumultuous next 45 days here, but I'll gamble. Let's go.
So this is what you do. You click on the bubble, and then you predict the price for the end of the year. If you get it right, you win half a BTC. If you're trading and you do 10 trades by January, you get to win a full BTC if you get it right. So again, I like to look through and see who's bearish or not, and it's pretty bullish here right now. We got a 48,750 from 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏. He's Dagan is calling 48K. 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏 is calling 44. I like it in the 40s. I must be honest. I like it somewhere in the 40s.
I was gonna go bullish a bit. You know, people are gonna think people are gonna take profits to buy Christmas presents, but I'm gonna go the opposite. Give me 42,732.
42,732. Well, you're going to have to log in with one of your links here. You're going to have to plug it in. I'm going to
I'll plug it in. I have to.
I'm keeping this 42,7. I'm going to remember this one. What are you going? 42,700. Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
Hey guys, you heard it from the gaming extraordinaire. I mean, this guy's calling these gaming tokens to wherever they go. He's pretty accurate. So, 42.7. Put that in your charts for the end of the year.
I get a raise from. I'll have to get a raise from Rand if I hit.
It's sounding.
My raise is the Bitcoin actually. No, there we go.
I like that number. Okay, let's do an Arbitrum. Let's do an Arbitrum quickly. Okay, we're sitting at trends. So we've seen a lot of this now. We've seen a lot of these alts dip back to these trends, and it's decision time for a lot of these tokens. So we've had a nice time. We've had a nice pump. We had a good move this weekend. And you can see a lot of them are starting to look like that. They're in these downtrends now. So we are potentially moving lower. You need to watch these trends. You can track them. You look for these bounce areas on high impact zones, and you can track these trends. And if you feel you've missed the move, you can always just wait till we get that trend break. And then that push higher. So areas I like for Arbitrum. Let's just take a closer look here. So I do like this 200-day MA and some horizontal stuff going on here. So here, I would say if this trend is going to hold, let's look for a little whip down into this 200-day MA, something along these lines, and a potential move up there. Then we're going to see if we're going to get this head and shoulders situation and maybe some more downside after that. So let's watch that. If we hold this trend and we reclaim this 1.12 area and we start pushing higher, well, then all bets are off for that potential head and shoulders there. So yeah, I want to see 1.12 start holding a support for that next move higher. Guys, we're out of time. That was great. Really, Hustle. That was awesome. I really like getting involved in those gaming tokens. I've got some good picks here, guys. I hope you got some great picks there for your buy and hold and your spot bags and things. Leverage traders, just be careful on some of these coins. You've seen these wicks on some of these altcoins. If you're not careful, you can get absolutely rinsed here. And remember, we are potentially now, some of these alts are looking a little bit tired. So just be careful. Eyes on BTC, eyes on dominance, and when the time is right, we're going to get these moves up again and we're going to climb in. But right now, just exercise a bit of caution while we wait for BTC. One more look at BTC for me quickly. Let's see what we're doing. And yeah, we had that wick down to 35.6, so that would have hit the bottom of that liquidation channel. Take a look here quickly. We hit that 35.6 region, so we had that liquidation heat map talking to us in that area there. So hopefully that is now the end of that move, and now we can push a little bit higher. So yeah, let's see how we go. Watch these alts on supports, and yeah, thank you, Hustle. Thanks, bro. That was great. We'll see you guys. Let me know when I'm coming on your show, and we'll educate your students on some science. But
we'll bring science to in the game. Let's go. No, it was awesome. Thanks for having me.
Later, guys.